Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Robinson's Galleria for the Predator International 10-Ball Championship. This event brought to you by Dragon Promotions and ABS-CBN Sports, and we enter our second semifinal. Once again, a race to 10 winner break format with a 30-second shot clock. And right now, let's meet our next two semifinalists. Starting out with this player from China, considered to be one of the greatest players in the world today, a two-time world champion, Chia, Ching. And his opponent is from the Philippines. One-time world champion, former world #1. He's called RoboCop. Please give it up for Dennis Orcollo. Your referee for our second semifinal, we have referee Mark Valurina. Let's turn you over now to Bob.
Thank you very much, Anthony. Glad you could join us here on Ball's channel for this special presentation of ABS-CBN Sports and Dragon Promotions. It's semifinal number 2 of the Predator International 10-Ball Championship of 2011. Joining me in the commentary booth, B-Boy Soriano, my partner for the last 3 days, and a very special guest donning the headset today, none other than Hall of Famer from Germany, Mr. Ralph Souquet. Ralph, thank you for joining us here, and I'm sure you're excited and you're looking forward to a very close match.
Well, thanks, Bob. Hello, everybody. We're looking forward to a great match here. Dennis Orcollo and Ching, two of the greatest players nowadays, that's for sure.
Dennis Orcollo, the world #1 according to the World Pool Billiard Association rankings, and can he prove it? Well, the lag is very close. Mark Valurina, he's going to give it to Dennis by a whisker.
Yeah, it looked really, really close, though. He actually made the call quite quick, you know. From up here, it was kind of hard to tell.
Dennis Orcollo, a finalist at the World Pool Masters.
They didn't even know he was in the break.
And B-Boy, at 32 years old, already a tremendous resume.
Yeah, 2010 World Pool Masters, 09 Predator International, 08 Japan, 08 Qatar, and you see there his matches. One against Kaguriyama, Chan, Shaw, Peach, Piado, a lot of Filipinos down that line that he took out.
He lost his first match and then never allowed more than 3 in the 6 matches that followed. And Ralph, you know, in a double elimination tournament, you do not want to go to the one-loss side early. That's for sure. But he did, and it didn't matter. He mowed over everyone else.
Well, sometimes it's actually good if you lose a match early on, because you kind of, you know, can't get him stroked on the one-loss side.
See there, Dennis testing the waters there off the break. Did not power it hard, but has this shot.
He was able to make the ball off the break, which is the most important part. But to be honest, that rack didn't really look too tight. You know, I think the referee just gave him kind of a loose rack there. That's why the balls didn't spread out that nicely.
Well, Ralph, you've played Dennis many times, most recently about a week ago. And what are your thoughts on his game and how he's come along the past few years?
Well, he's, you know, as mentioned earlier, definitely one of the best players nowadays. He's for sure in the top 5. You know, he's won so many events. He really improved and established himself in the last 3-4 years. I actually have a hard time, you know, playing or beating him lately, or actually the whole time he's been around. You know, I had a pretty bad record against him and slowly catching up on him.
I seem to recall like 10 years ago in Cardiff in an early round of 64 he beat you. He
Yep.
wasn't even that well known.
That was the first time that we played each other, and that's when it all started.
10 seconds.
Of course, you're quite humble. Of course, you're not mentioning the fact that you did beat him for the World Pool Masters last week.
Well, that was one of the very few wins so far. I don't want to jinx myself here.
And really, Dennis Orcollo making light work of this first rack.
Yes, good angle here, either from forward or draw back off the rail.
He played this with top also if he wants. Boy, that's a sweet draw stroke you put on that B-boy.
Cue ball.
It's too good. It'll just stay up. Dream start for Dennis Orcollo. It's a break and run out. He takes the 1-0 lead in our second semifinal. We'll be back after this short break. Citizens Galleria, the venue for the 2011 Predator International 10-ball championship. Dennis Orcollo from Surigao is tangling with Wu Jiaqing of China. Wu Jiaqing, originally from Chinese Taipei, now playing for China. Dennis Orcollo, the world #1. Breaking from a different spot, I think, Ralph.
Yep. He probably inspected the wreck during break time and we saw a little gap here and there, and that's why he probably moved to the other side. Because the first break wasn't really that nice, even though he made a ball and ran out.
What do you like him to do here? This is a dry break and Wu on the table.
Yeah, well, that's his first shot, except for the leg, so it's not an easy one.
Now, for sure, you've played Wu in the past, and
Yeah, I've
just
played
a
him.
powerful player.
Yeah, he's a very aggressive player usually, but I don't see any offensive option here, to be honest. I think he's going to go for a safety.
10 seconds.
Only 16 years old when he won his 9-ball title.
Great shot
back in,
here.
yeah, way back in 2005, and then he won the 8-ball title later on in that year. And he's come up with a good save.
10-ball corner. 10-ball corner.
Oh, Dennis has called the 10-ball, just to be sure. One rail escape here, Ralph?
Well, if he's capable of, hitting the one, then there's actually a pretty good chance that the cue ball is going to make the 10. But yeah, he failed to hit the 1 ball. But it's still not an easy rack. 5, 6 are clustered up, so he might go for the combination. Yeah, that's what I thought.
But this is no gimme.
10-ball.
Not a hanger.
Especially with the 30-second shot clock. You better be ready to shoot.
10 seconds. Extension.
Now he wants to make sure that this goes in.
One 10 combination down the hatch for Wu Jiaqing, and he opens his account in this second semifinal. Glad you could join us here on Ball's channel. Just a reminder that we have a replay tonight, 9 p.m. on Studio 23. And 10 balls an easy game when you have shots like this.
Oh, but first you had to play a very good safety to actually get that opportunity. That's basically the key thing here. He didn't have a lot of options after Dennis's dry break, but he came out with a great safety shot. Really, ducked the cue ball very well there, and so it was really hard to hit the 1 ball for Dennis.
Wu Jiaqing, just 22 years old. It seems like he's been around forever, but he's got, I don't know, 20, 30 years more of
Definitely, yeah.
Of Poole playing if he wants it. He's breaking from near the middle. And
He hits him super hard. Yeah, and dead square.
10 is down. That's going to be respotted, but he will stay on the table and have a shot on the one. We are playing 10 ball. It's a call shot game. There is no golden break in 10 ball. And the players prefer this discipline because it takes out a lot of the luck factor.
Yeah, absolutely.
B-boy, safety here for sure.
Knowing Wu, usually he's a very offensive player, but given this, a lot of balls to be blocking with, possibly behind the 2 or the 4. Went there.
Just put Dennis in the weeds.
Yeah, another good safety by Ching here. But this should be, a little easier to hit, at least for Dennis. He's got quite a wide open field there. But obviously you don't just want to hit it. He wants to, either make it. That's why he called it in the corner.
10 seconds.
Or at least, play resafe.
I don't think he wanted this kind of hit, and he certainly doesn't want this kind of result. He hit that at pace, didn't he?
Yeah, he was really forcing it. Well, I think he wanted to make sure if he would have made it, that the cue ball would have been come down again and positioned into the 2. Otherwise, there was no sense of trying to make the 1 ball.
We've been breaking this ball, the cluster up to 9-10-3. 3-2, jump into the 9.
It's going to be a little tricky here because depending on how he hits the 9 ball, the cue ball is going to send the 3 towards the 6 probably.
Is that going to work for him? If there's a bank on.
I don't know if the bank is actually on. It doesn't look like. There's too much angle there.
He might have to hit this really hard to straighten out the angle.
I think he rather ducks the cue ball behind the 6 or sends the cue ball down maybe behind the 9. That is a player's preference. But I don't really see him trying to bang it into the cross side. This is just too much angle and nah, forget about it.
Yeah, from this angle you can see that definitely doesn't bank unless it's a cross side bank.
Let's see what he comes up with.
I better stop rolling. It's going to show for Dennis. Dennis has got a piece of this 3.
Yeah, maybe.
This is a very slick table, and we've seen a lot of overruns in the last four days.
Actually, I was surprised a little that he didn't try to get the cue ball behind the 9 and hit the 3 a bit thicker.
Put some bottom on the cue, maybe.
Oy.
Almost scratching.
That's not a bad result, though. Wu's got a tough offensive shot here on the 3.
Got a little roll here. I think he wanted to hit it way thinner than that. And try to get 2 rails down, back, maybe behind the 8 ball.
1 corner. 3 ball corner.
This is a tough
10 seconds.
Oh,
great shot.
unbelievable pocketing from Ching.
Especially with cue ball, close to the rail. These are the toughest shots because you can't really do much with the cue ball. You can basically just follow through and hope for the best results.
He's got a nice technique, doesn't he, Ching? I love his stroke. It's very, very smooth. Much smoother than a lot of the players who have been developed out of Chinese Taipei.
Yep. Yeah, he's not a typical Chinese Taipei style player, let's put it that way.
And actually, Dennis Orcollo, not a typical Filipino player.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
He's got a very steady, it's still smooth, but not, free-flowing and wristy like the others.
More of a short stroke.
More of a European stroke.
Yep.
And I would say among all the Europeans, the guy with the most butter smooth stroke has got to be you, for me. I mean,
well, I don't know. I'll let other people decide on that one.
Cue ball.
on.
Cue ball.
Just a bit of applause there from this very partisan crowd. That's the first unforced error for Wu. A bit careless, I think.
Well, kind of, it was kind of a rough angle here, but still, I think he just didn't put enough backspin on that one. It was possible to draw the cue ball behind the side pocket. But those mistakes happen. With the 30-second shot clock, you gotta make your decision really fast. You gotta stroke really fast, and sometimes these mistakes just happen. We are only human beings.
And ball is down for Dennis Orcollo. He's back in the lead. And we'll take a short break. When we come back to the Predator International 10-Ball Championship, rack number 4. Stay right here. And there on your screens is Ramil Bebeng Gallego from Bacolod, who top Filipino player who had a good run into the quarterfinals, was defeated by Dennis Orcollo 9-3. Good to see him have a good tournament. Dennis Orcollo continuing his experimentation on the break, and I like this. He's moving now to the right wing, trying to find the magic formula to solve this.
Yeah, trying to find the so-called sweet spot.
I don't think that's the sweet spot yet.
Try break. No shot on the 1.
And that's going to be a tough push out here. Because if the 1 ball is so close to the pocket, you don't really have a lot of spots on the table to play the push out. He probably has to push for a jump here.
Yeah, but it's difficult to push for a jump. Also, the one that almost.
I know, yeah.
Maybe he can mess the rack up.
Push out into a short jump.
I don't like this at all. I would have tried to mess the rack up to take out the run out. Dennis is going to knock this one down. Knocks this shots like this down 9 times out of 10. I'm not so sure about that push out, Ralph.
Yeah, me neither. That wasn't the best option, to be honest. Well, it seems like it's not that easy to reach that ball. He's sitting on the table.
Well,
and he missed it.
the gamble just might work for Wu Ching, because Dennis' awkward stance means he's going to miss that jump shot.
Sometimes leaving the so-called easy or makeable shots could surprise the opponent, and like makes him think, why did he do this? All of a sudden
there's something up there that I don't know about. 1-6 combination try for Wu Ching. He's not going to like his position on the cue ball. That's just desperately unlucky for him.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a bad roll here. But
1 ball corner.
On the other hand, he needed to make sure that the cue ball actually was coming more towards the center of the table, because it was almost obvious that the 1 ball was going to the other side of the table and not necessarily staying in front of the hole. And he calls it, tries to kick it in here.
Nope. No good.
A lot of kicks and banks have been missed short this week. There's another one.
Well, I don't know how many matches Wu has played here on the TV table. I know he played against Efren, even though it wasn't on camera.
Yeah, I think he played 2. He played in the match earlier, definitely. He's had plenty of experience.
But the thing is, all the players were warming up on the outside tables, and they really play completely different.
In what way do they play completely different, Ralph, and why exactly, do you think?
Way faster to begin with. I mean, the outside tables play much faster than the TV table. I don't know why that is.
It's usually the other way around, isn't it?
It's usually the other way around, but yeah, I don't know exactly why that is. I mean, we've got some extra light here, which usually creates more of a sliding factor and running faster balls, but it doesn't seem to be the case here.
Could be there's more humidity here in this area. Makes it a bit slower.
Not really. usually with more humidity, the rails are getting faster. More like pinball machines, but that's not the case here either. So
I don't understand for the life of me why Dennis played the shot the way he did. I thought he was going to go in between the 7 and the 8. Maybe he's worried about scratching. He's snookered here behind the 10.
he has to play rail first, but I think it's still makeable.
He's going to have to hold for position on the 7 afterwards.
All 3 rails around. That was basically why he played that much angle on the 5. He wanted to have like a natural angle to get around the table. Because if he comes too short, well, he still could have played the 7 in the side, I guess. But I don't know what he had in mind originally here.
At any rate, he is definitely in control of proceedings, because he's done very well to use the 10 ball to hold for position on the 8, and it's very elementary now for Dennis Orcollo. Could we see him run away with this match if he gets into stroke? Another 10 ball for Dennis Orcollo, the world number 1, takes a 3-1 lead. Waiting in the final, of course, is Mika Immonen after his Hail victory over Liu Haitao. And B-Boy, well, Dennis missed here, but then a mistake from Wu Cha Ching. And
right there, puts himself behind the 8 ball. Then again, ball in hand for Dennis. And over the rack, tough shots here and there. That one will first come out.
I think Dennis is looking comfortable out there. I think that's always important.
Yeah, he's looking, a little better than at the very first beginning of the match. Both players made a few mistakes so far, but Dennis, basically got the best out of it.
Dennis probably makes fewer mistakes than anybody out there in the pool world. That's why he's the world number 1.
Yeah, that's definitely the case at the moment, or within the last year, no doubt. Let's see if he finds his break finally. That's the biggest problem, when you always
Breaking
at the table
try.
break and you leave an open table for your opponent. I mean, as long as it ends like before, where your opponent has to play a push out or has to create something else, then it's still okay.
He's back over on the left side. Not quite on the wings, just out of where the break box might be. The search for the perfect break continues for Dennis Orcollo. It's a dry break, and he's left the 1 onto the side pocket. Lots of dry breaks, but actually, this is why we play 10 ball, because we like that, don't we?
On one hand, obviously, yes, because that, brings in a lot more play. Instead of having maybe a player running out 3, 4, 5 racks and the opponent just sitting in the chair.
I guess when it happens to you, you don't really like it at all.
But of course, you like to be on the... or you don't like to be on the receiving side, let's put it that way. As long as you at the table and you run the racks, then it's always good. But when you're on the receiving end, obviously you hate it. That's why I'm actually like playing with alternate break, because the quality of play has gone up so much over the last years.
Well, it didn't go up on that shot. I think Wood desperately short of pace on this 3.
This is what happened to him yesterday when he played Efren Reyes. Efren got a good run on him, but eventually he settled down. Right now, not looking good as of the moment, but he could still make this.
A lot of work to do to get back for the
But what about the position for the 4? Exactly.
Gonna play safe.
Oh, he hit the edge of the side pocket. He wanted to come all the way down to bring the cue ball to the end rail, in order to bring the 6 or the 9 ball between the 3 and the cue ball. He just hit the edge of the side pocket, and that's why it came so short. But left it quite tough for Dennis, because he has to elevate here which is always very, very tough.
What's your advice for hitting this shot, Ralph, when you've got hampered cueing?
I would, on this one personally, I would try to hit the rail first and kick the three-way and try to leave the cue ball there. There you got the best control.
Oh, he cut it in! Wow. Unbelievable shot from Dennis Orcollo. He's really feeling it now.
He was calling the side.
He was going
for the safety.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Ball corner.
Yeah, this is 10 ball. You must call the pocket. If the ball goes in and you did not call the pocket, you lose control of the table. That's what happened there. He was playing the kick shot, hit it poorly, ended up cutting it in by accident. And Wu back on the table. Well, that's the way to cut the balls.
Won't be happy though. Ran into the 5.
That's bad luck. It was a great shot on the 4. Hard to control a cue ball, but that was definitely very unfortunate. Well, I don't know. He might try to stop the cue ball there and send the 5-ball 3 rails down towards the 10. For his safety.
Full hit on the 5 is what he wants. That's what he's gotten.
Too hard.
Well, that's going to show.
It's too hard.
Actually, I don't think it was too hard. I think it was the speed that he was looking for, but he just didn't bring the cue ball, didn't play it as a stop shot. It was supposed to be stopping right behind the 7.
Missed it a bit off to the left.
Yep.
Dennis Orcollo making better use of that 7 ball to hold for the 6. That's a gorgeous draw shot he displayed there.
If things are going like this for Dennis, I believe it might not last that very long.
You know, when Dennis is on the table and there's an open rack, you almost think he's not going to miss.
Yeah, he looks very convincing when he's at the table and things are going his way, definitely. But you should never count Wu Ching out. Just remembering what he did when he won the first World 9-ball championship, or I mean, he only won it once, but when he won it at age 15, being down in the finals 16-12, also winners break format, and he didn't let his opponent shoot
Popo Ching, yeah, Popo Ching. 17-16 he won then, but now the focus is on Dennis Orcollo. He's opened up a 4-1 lead. Can he make it even bigger? We'll find out after this short break. We'll be right back here on Balls Channel. They're all over the place here at Robinson's Galleria, trying to get the best look at our battlefield. This beautiful Yalin table, the official table of the Predator International 10-Ball Championship. Do check out Yalin.CN. Learn more about these world-class billiard products. And Dennis Orcollo
moving again.
Moving back to, I think maybe within the break box, if we did have one, but on the right side.
Yeah, that's about right on the edge of the ghost break box.
He's already way ahead, but
okay.
Now he's found a sweet spot. Found a sweet spot, and there is a shot on the 1. This is what he likes. But B-Boy, can he get shape on the blue 2-up table?
I think he can just draw this back right-hand spin, unless he wants to play a billiard on the 10 ball. Look at this. Finally, a ball dropped for him at the round 7.
Boy, did he make that cue ball squat. Not sure what he's called.
Well, he's back in line. So the question here is, does he play the 3-10 combination off?
I would say yes. Because the 10 is just too close to the pocket, and it would be too hard to get position on the 3 in another pocket. So, yeah.
Did just that. Brought the cue ball close to the 3 for.
Still not an easy one, you know. There's still some air there to miss it, but Yeah, it's 9 out of 10.
Dennis Orcollo, a 3-10 combination means he is 5-1 in front of Wu Jia-Ching. He has yet to make an unforced error. Aside from 3 dry breaks, he has played pretty much immaculate pool.
Well, we did see this in the first semifinal with Mika. See there, the 3-10 planted. And now a 4-rack lead.
Well, he's halfway home, which doesn't mean a lot.
Yeah, the second half is going to be a lot harder than the first one, that's for sure.
Because Wu Jia-Ching really hasn't played much here. You know, he's not really in the match at all.
Although he has made, he's scratched on the 6th ball in rack number 3, and he's made a position error in rack number 5 and 2 weak safeties. So you can't say that he really is in gear just yet. The little genius, All Japan Championship 4 years ago. That's a very prestigious tournament. And he took out your roommate, Ralph Thorsten Homan.
Yep.
The final 16, and wow. And he beat Efren Reyes, and Efren Reyes was on song yesterday. He was back to his old self, but Wu was just too tough.
It was a really, really high-class match. I watched it. Not the whole thing, but
The standard was high, wasn't
yeah,
it?
absolutely. Yeah.
It was a high-class match, and they were wearing tuxedos and vests or something. I don't know.
Oh, well, yes.
That's a formal match.
High-quality match. That's yeah.
But in the All Japan Championship, you have to wear that, don't you?
Yeah. In Japan, they still go by the tradition that you have to wear, you know, not necessarily tuxedo, but at least, you know,
A vest.
dress pants, vest, bow tie, or tie, and long sleeve white shirt.
Yeah. Dennis is back here on the right side. And 3 ball, no. No shot on the 1.
And
Dennis is getting the rolls.
yeah, that's exactly what you need. When you don't make a ball on the break and the table seems to be open, that your opponent does not have a chance to, you know, create something positive. Here again, you know, he has to push out to basically nothing, because the 1 is not even makeable in a pocket.
Probably push the 3 into the pocket then. Nope, pushing out center, lower rail.
Push out is only done immediately following the break. Usually when you can't see the lowest numbered ball, the incoming player, Dennis Orcollo, can either take this shot on or give it back. And Ralph, what do you counsel him to do now?
Well, to be honest, I would probably give it back. It looks like Dennis is so confident to go for the safety.
Well, that's going to work. Or is it? Uh-oh. A cue ball. Is it going to get behind the 4? Yes, it will.
Good shot, but again, he got a little roll here that the 1 ball had got a double kiss there, and it stayed there. Otherwise, the 1 ball would have been more out in the middle of the table, and then maybe, you know, it would not be a safe. But he's, you know, very confident, and that's why he's actually going for a shot like that.
Ooh, a very capable jumper of the ball.
Got it.
Oh, what a shot.
Yeah, great shot.
That's Wu. Dennis gave him a safety, left him this, but went up in the air, got the 1.
And got the stop ball that he needed on the blue 2. Could this ignite a run from Wu Jia-Ching?
This is actually what he needs. He needs to stop the momentum. So by doing that, he needs to finish this rack up. It's okay.
A little short. He wanted to be, you know, more in the center of the table with the cue ball. Now he has to go like back and forth with the cue ball. There's always a little risk. Maybe bumping into the 10. But he hit this one really nice. Overcut it a little bit just to make sure not to run into the 10. But got stuck on the rail, which makes it almost impossible to do.
Oh, wow.
This is a patchy
Jacking
blue
up
shot.
and
This is what he's known for. See, right there. Stun off the rail.
Great shot, yeah.
50-yard line.
Landed strange on the 6.
Yeah, that's not an easy one either to get good shape on the 4, on the 7. Well, maybe played to his right and then get the cue ball 3 or 2 rails around and play the 7 into the exactly same corner pocket afterwards. There's the 6.
And that is almost perfect speed right there.
Nice shot.
And Wu is showing that he's not going to go quietly into the night.
But this is also tricky. A little off the rail, the 7 ball. It's not a hanger.
He made it look like one. Wu's showing a lot of character here in this rack. Got that great pause at the top of his stroke that a lot of snooker players do, and even some pool players. It's a gutsy run out from Wu Ching, and he pulls to within 3, 5 racks to 2. You're watching the 11th running of the Predator International 10-Ball Championship. Live on Balls Channel, replay tonight at 9 p.m. on Studio 23. Glad you could join us. Bob Guerrero on the call with B-Boy Soriano and Ralph Souquet. Could be a turning point there, Ralph.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, if Wu Ching finds his break and gets something going for him, this match is not necessarily gonna turn, but at least it could be a fight. It could be a head-to-head match, and that's basically what we're all looking forward to. All the viewers on television, the crowd here at Robinson's Galleria, huge crowds, and of course for them here it would be the best if Dennis would make it to the finals. Obviously it's always better for the spectators or for the promoters, but you gotta take what you get.
And he's still sticking to that area where he's breaking from.
Yeah, Dennis hasn't tried to break yet from that spot.
And he did not hit the 1 ball square.
Plus, he does not get a ball and a shot on the 1 for Dennis Orcollo.
Dennis is going to need a mechanical bridge for this, I would think.
Yeah, he did not hit that 1 ball square enough. That's why he didn't get any good results here.
I guess the cut break is really more of a 9-ball break, not really a 10-ball break.
Yeah, it depends on, actually, it depends on how the balls have been racked, but usually in 10-ball you hit it more square than cut. But with this power and this speed that he used here on this break shot, you don't even want to cut it because that might make the cue ball fly off the table.
Yeah. Well, Dennis has this long cut down the table. Does he even want to take this on, or does he duck?
That's a good question.
It's an automatic shape for the 3, actually, but it's a long shot.
I think he's going to go for it. Get the cue ball between the 8 and the 6 maybe. Get back to the center of the table.
Well, he made that one look easy too.
Wow, and passes the 8 also. Nice shot.
And there was no two-way shot there. There was no, if he misses that, he sells out.
But that shows his confidence at the moment.
Probably figured correctly that the safety there wasn't going to be easy either.
Yeah, it was like a maybe 60-40, like only 60% going for the shot and maybe 40%, to duck the cue ball behind the 7.
Landed a bit straight on the 5.
is still okay. Yep, that's perfect position here. Nice shape on the 7-ball. Bring the cue ball back to the center to play the 8-ball in the opposite corner afterwards.
Oh, Dennis has really figured out the speed of this table, judging by that shot. Intentionally plays it into the rail so the cue ball goes out. Even easier shot on the 9. He's really Rav, I think, pretty much a complete player right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Doesn't have any weaknesses in his game. Are there any weaknesses in his game that you can see?
Not at the moment. I mean, of course, you know, no player will be ever complete or at 100%. That's, you know, that's just a dream. But
yeah.
You know, he managed to win rack number 8 and goes into a 6-2 lead.
We'll be back for rack number 9 after this short break. Back here at Robinson's Galleria, and there's Dare. I believe, B-Boy, what's your Dare?
Jin.
Dare Jin, part of the staff here of Dragon Promotions, who've done a brilliant job in putting this event together.
But going back to the issue earlier when you asked me about if there's a weakness in Dennis's game, the only weakness there is, or that I can see, is probably his break, to be honest.
Well, he has 3 dry breaks right now, and Wu only 1.
That might be the only, you know, thing that he not necessarily has to work on, because, you know, it's really, really hard to make balls here with, you know, the referee racking the balls with a regular rack, because we are so used to use either the magic rack or
A template.
some other templates to rack the balls.
Or if the balls are tapped.
Yeah, so this is more like old style.
At the last moment, the 7-ball goes down. Yeah, this is old school pool, isn't it? When people used to hammer them.
Which is good in a way, but if you're no longer doing that, then, you know, you kind of lose
That skill,
hard,
really, yeah.
or yeah, exactly, that hard break, because, you know, top players nowadays seem to break more with a medium or even a softer break, which is not allowed in this event.
Yeah.
That's part of the rules here, that you have to hit them hard.
It's interesting, though, that there is no... it's purely subjective what a soft break is. There's no
That is correct,
3
yeah.
balls crossing. There's no speed gun.
Yep.
Nothing.
It's basically the referee's call here. You know.
Boy,
It's
yeah.
very tricky.
Yeah. B-Boy, I think that was the hardest shot in this rack for Dennis.
Got the 1 right there. This is going to look real open for Dennis.
You know what I've noticed, guys, in pool, it's really so much about the number of shots you have in your skill set, but it's about not making mistakes and getting out when you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
You can have all the shots in the world, all the knowledge, but if you miss,
Doesn't count.
It's going to be useless. And this, Dennis Orcollo, still no unforced errors. He had a foul when he tried to get out of a snooker. He made a ball, an uncalled ball in rack number 5, but he has yet to make an unforced error. That means a position error, hooking himself, or missing a ball.
Yeah, he's looking very solid, for sure. As he is in the whole tournament, except for the first round where he lost to
Yukio
Akaguriyama, the current world 9-ball champion, which was a tough first round match to begin with.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even know how this happened. Both players should have been seeded. And,
you're right, both players. Yeah, world number 1 and world 9-ball champion. How could they have met? But it happened. And Dennis Orcollo is showing why he's the best in the world. This will be his second break and run out after a 10-ball run out in the last rack. 7-2. Dennis Orcollo is overwhelming his opponent right now with pinpoint accuracy and great cue ball control. And on that last rack, super breaking. 7-2 is our score. And B-Boy, you got to say that Dennis has really one of the most committed players out there and really deserves all the success.
Yeah, but Dennis, he's known for a long time, and we know he's striving for perfection.
Let's take a look at the one ball here again. That was the main key shot, after the break, kind of hard. Not the ideal angle, and the rest was, not easy, but for a caliber like him and the way he's playing at the moment, it seemed like a roadmap.
D-Boy, I guess the way Dennis is off the table is one of the big reasons why he's so successful.
Yeah, Dennis is a nice guy. He, very nice person to approach, well-mannered. Of course, you get the success like this. Some players get it into their heads, but with Dennis, he's been this way ever since.
And 2 days ago, I mean, he was practicing on this table by himself. There were no more matches here. I think he really goes the extra mile. Very devoted family man. And you said that he's an avid basketball player.
He plays basketball for exercise. Some would love to jog. I believe Ralph also jogs. He has it on time.
Yes, I do. Except when I'm here in Manila, for some reason, I never have the time to begin with. And running outside is kind of tough here in these conditions.
So you gain weight more than get to run.
Yep.
I think perhaps, Bibo, you need to install one of those treadmills in your house.
We're working on it. What do you think, Ralph?
I would love it. Yeah, definitely.
Try break number 4 for Dennis. He's built up a 7-2 lead while
Four
breaking
dry
drive 4
breaks, yeah.
times. Amazing.
But he's always leaving it kind of tough for Wu Ching, so he couldn't really benefit from it yet. Tough cut shot here. You're sitting in your chair for a couple of games, kind of cooling down. Great shot.
We got to remember, this is where Mika got caught in the first semifinals. He got stuck at number 7.
Anything can happen in 10 ball.
But again, even this position here is not that easy. Making 2 is okay, but getting good shape on the 3.
They're kind of wrong-sided on the 3. Which is, it really had to be because of where the 7 was. No choice.
And it was a perfect position.
2 rails, Ralph?
I think he's going to, just draw at 1 rail.
Don't get straight. Ooh, it's a bit straightish.
Maybe he wanted to be straight. You can draw back for the 5 in the side. It's actually not too bad. Even though we normally don't like straight positions, very little angle on the balls, but sometimes that's what you need in order to get to the next ball.
Boy, these matches, as we get closer and closer to the finish lines in this tournament, fewer and fewer mistakes and faster matches. We had one match the other day, I won't name names, but we had 16 unforced errors. And now we've only had 2. We're already in the 10th rack. We've only had 2.
And that's a big swing, coming from 16 to 2.
Yeah.
But here again, if you made it to the semifinals, there's a reason for that.
Of course.
Nice run out here by Wu Ching.
Wu Ching is hanging in there. 3-7 he trails against Dennis Orcollo. You're watching the Predator International 10-Ball Championship live on Balls Channel. The winner of this match will face the Iceman Mika Immonen from Finland. And they will battle for that top prize of $10,000 US. Glad you could join us. And special shout out, of course, to our title sponsor, Predator. And Ralph, I know you also use Predator technology to help you succeed over the years.
Yes, I do. Yeah, it's been, definitely the best product for low deflection cues or shafts on the market. No doubt about that. I'm really, really happy with Predator products.
You can learn more about Predator, of course, on predatorcues.com. It's predatorcues.com, the official website.
And when you look around, you see so many top players nowadays that are using Predator products. And there's got to be a reason for it.
Well, look at this. Wu made the one ball, and for sure he's going to want to do that again next time he gets on the table. That's the first time we've seen the one ball in the side.
Yeah, and here again he hit him square. Let's take another look.
That's almost like a 9-ball break there. One ball going into the side.
Yeah. Just got a little unlucky that the cue ball got kicked away all the way end table. So he's going to face a long shot on the 2-ball.
Well, this is his forte. It's his choice whether he lifts up the end of the cue or he follows this.
He probably has to, because otherwise he won't get any shape on a 3-ball. That's what makes this shot like 50% tougher, instead of just being able to roll it in.
Oh, he made that look easy.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, this is not one hard shot leads to another, guys.
Cue ball possibly in between the 4 and the 8. Pops the 8 out, and that was perfect now.
That was perfect. So he has enough room now to just probably leave the cue ball there and play the 5 in the other. Oh no, he's following through, so he's playing position for the side pocket. Okay. That's again, player's preference.
Well, I think I echo Ralph's statement earlier. These guys definitely did not get here by accident. We're seeing some very solid pool play in this match. We've only seen one ball missed in the whole match. Winner's break, so I think it's definitely far from over.
The rails are starting to bounce off a little faster.
Get a bit livelier.
Yeah. I wonder why that is at the moment. You can see it just there. So it makes it tougher for the players to control the cue ball. Maybe the balls pick up some dirt. And they would, need to be cleaned before the next rack. A little more angle than he wanted to.
He's such a great drawer with the ball. Just go in and out of that long rail. Wow, amazing how he played that shot. I thought he was going to baby that.
He's not a player that baby shots. It's the complete opposite from me. I would have babied it.
Well, Wu Ching has put up his first break and run out of the match. We'll be back after these reminders for rack number 12 on semifinal number 2. Ching made a one ball on the break on the side pocket. We'll be looking to try it again. Look at that right side pocket in the middle of your screen. See if the one ball is going to track towards it. It's going to... Wow.
That's bad luck here. The one ball actually was on its way to the side pocket again. It got kicked away.
But then the cue ball, I think, got kicked into the corner pocket, or did it go in on its own?
No, it was kicked.
Oh, it got kicked in, yeah.
4 ball.
That's really unfortunate.
That's got to hurt if Dennis can run out, but you don't want to pencil in this one just yet.
Tricky here is to get a good shape from the 3 to the 4.
Oh, what's he doing, Ralph?
I don't know, to be honest.
1-2 combination?
Okay, there you go. That's more like it.
Getting from the 3 to the 4. I mean, getting there is not so hard, but you need the ideal angle on the 4 to be able to come down for the 5. And that's the main position here, getting from the 4 to the 5.
Do you read the table the same way as Dennis? Use the same patterns, or is it very different?
I would say it's a little different, but I mean, the overall is very similar with all the top players. But some players, they prefer just, rolling in, babying balls. Other players prefer the stun shot or go 3 rails instead of just, rolling. So there are slightly differences here and there, but on certain table,
certain patterns
are always the same once you've reached a certain level. I wonder what he's going to do here now, because this is really, really tricky.
He's got to split
low left, go 3 rails around. I don't know.
He draws back in between the 6 and 10.
Okay, he goes for the easier position way, but for the much tougher shot afterwards.
Is he just going to get this 5 and then bump into the 7 here with top? I don't know. Is that the way he's going to play this, B-boy?
That could be an option.
It might play short shake for the 6. Got it? Wow. Okay, they're dangerous, but got it.
Well, when you look back, that's actually a better play because...
Yep, that was ideal.
Yeah. A lot. It's not just the being able to hit the balls properly, isn't it? It's also thinking.
Thinking, and you got to see the patterns.
Yeah.
That was very well executed, no doubt.
I think B-boy Dennis is head and shoulders above any Filipino tournament player right now.
Well, definitely doing this, studying the break, how he shoots. 10 ball, 4 rack lead.
Third break and run out for Dennis Orcollo after rack number 1, rack number 9, and now rack number 12, and Dennis Orcollo doubling up on Wu Jia-Ching is 2 racks away from crashing the finals party and setting up a dream matchup with Mika Immonen, and that's a dreadful piece of luck from Wu Jia-Ching. And Dennis just imperious in the way he takes apart this rack. And this is the key shot, folks. Right here. He put a lot of spin on that ball, too.
He had to, yeah. Well, let's see.
I wonder if he's going to try and do the break that Wu Jia-Ching did.
But he doesn't have the power or the speed that Wu Jia-Ching has in his break.
That is going to be the 10 ball is going to stay up, and it's try break number 5. Just imagine if Dennis only made balls on the break, this could be 10-0.
Could be over, but on the other hand, if the table would have been more open for Wu Jia-Ching, it could have been maybe exactly the other way around.
Yeah. Dennis has played great, but Wu hasn't played terrible, and he really hasn't had the roll of the balls today.
Nice safety here. Separated the 2 balls and left many balls in between. This game could be over quickly here, because there might be a possible combination onto the 10 at one point, depending on what happens here.
Do you think, Ralph, that Dennis's kicking is up to the level of Bustamante and Reyes?
I still believe that Efren is the better kicker. And actually, I think Ronnie Alcano kicks very well too. But he's definitely up there. He's not like far off, but I still see maybe even Bustamante, those 3 maybe ahead of Dennis when it comes to kicking.
And where do you put yourself in that?
That's probably still one of my weaker parts of the game, to be honest. Even though sometimes, I've worked on my kicking game, but sometimes it's like I'm completely off for whatever reason. I just don't see the angles anymore, and that's the big problem. You know, you got to be at a certain level, or at a higher percentage in order to not give away ball in hand or easy open tables to your opponent.
Wu played a great shot on the 2 there, finding the corridor. B-boy, this match isn't over yet.
Not by a long shot. 8-4, totally different if Dennis were on the hill. Just a 4-rack lead.
Nice shot on the 3 here.
Okay, might just finish all the balls. No clear path yet for any combination on the 10.
Not anymore. Well, I figured, once the 1 ball was on the other side of the table, that maybe with a kick the 1 ball was going towards the 10. But that didn't happen.
What a beautiful controlled draw shot Wu Ching just made. That is so difficult. That's a shot that requires a lot of skill and a lot of practice. To draw the ball and get it to stop at a certain distance.
Yeah.
Anybody can just draw it back, 100 miles an hour. But that was perfect. Abbreviated rack coming up. Or is he playing the 8 into the pocket?
I think he's playing the 8, yeah.
I would have perhaps wanted a bit more angle on this 9. It's not going to bother him.
Perfect shape.
First break and run out of the match, believe it or not, for Wu Ching, although he did have a 10-ball run out in rack number 10. But he is pulled to within 3, 8-5 in this race to 10. Glad you could join us for the special ABS-CBN Sports presentation of the Predator International 10-Ball Championship. Our finals will be coming up after this match. Mika Immonen, the Iceman from Finland, he is waiting. There's Jean-Michel Beryl, the Frenchman. Good friend of the billiard community there in the white jacket. He's obviously there to support Dennis Orcollo. And if Wu Ching gets in his rhythm on this break, we could be in for quite a finish. Actually, that last break and run out was the second break and run out by Wu Ching, not the first. Watch the 1 ball in the right side pocket. The cue ball, or something has gone.
9.
That's the 9 ball actually that went down.
And gets.
I think he can see the 1 now. He deserved that little kiss, didn't he, Ralph? After the bad luck that he's having.
Yeah, he did, but I'm not sure if it's actually going to help him a lot.
Watch the 9 ball go into the top corner pocket. Boy, that went in there at 100 miles an hour. Big shot here. 1-6 combination, Ralph?
Yeah, I think that's what he already called.
6 corner.
Isn't it amazing how in 9 ball and 10 ball, sometimes it's just the first shot that's the hard one, then everything else is gravy after that.
That's good. Except that the 1 fell, but he has it banked.
There's nothing really he could do about that, I think.
Well, he just slightly hit it a notch too hard. But he wanted to make sure, even if he would have missed it, that maybe with a double kiss, the 6 ball still would have gone in. Take a look at it again here. I mean, he hit it perfect, but
If the 1 hits the rail first before the 6, is that going to be okay on that shot?
Good,
Oh,
good bench
Ching.
shots, yeah.
Grudging applause from the crowd here.
They liked it, but they didn't love it.
that wasn't an easy bank. That was not an elementary angle on the bank. It wasn't natural at all.
Oh, and you missed a shot like that. And usually you've been always talking about after you hit a tough shot, you end up playing a mediocre shot like this. It's like the adrenaline. You keep the adrenaline and you tend to lose focus.
Third unforced error, second missed pot of the match, and this was ragged.
I think he missed it by a lot, actually. That wasn't close. But here again, you know, he's not getting any easy runouts off the break, so it's really, you know, he has to grind through everything.
Yeah.
And, you know, it takes a lot of energy out of you. It's not like, you know, when you get a few so-called easy ones, you know, without any big effort, then
You're going to do a rhythm.
yeah, things are getting a lot easier.
Touch a left-hand spin on this ball for Dennis. Was there really any doubt about that shot? Dennis needs another good draw shot here. Wow. 4 easy shots to get on the hill for Dennis Orcollo.
Good angle to come one rail for the 8.
Needs to be on the right side for the 8. Can't hit this too hard. You can hit this. Slow down.
He hits it perfect.
You know,
Just enough angle.
yeah. A lot of people have struggled with the speed of the table this tournament, but
Corner.
Dennis certainly not one of them.
Yeah, he's dialed in.
Dennis Orcollo's on the hill. One more rack and he's through safe to the finals. Wu Ching is third unforced error of the match, and you got to feel for Wu a bit. He's been severely punished for his mistakes, and he hasn't quite had the rolls, but Dennis has been flawless. Coming up right after this, after a short break to allow the semifinal winner to the rest, we will be having our final. Mika Immonen waiting in the wings. You're watching the Predator International 10-Ball Championship presented by Yalin Billiards. This crowd, how they'd love to see Dennis Orcollo take on Mika Immonen, but still some work for Mika to do. They say the hardest racks to win in a match are the first and the last.
Orcollo to break, leading 9 racks to 5.
Let's see if he changes gears. Yes, he does. He moves to the right.
Yeah, he's trying something different. He's not afraid to experiment. He'll be using this information in the final if he gets there. What else is new? At least he hasn't left a shot.
Dry break number, what, 6 it is now?
Dry break number 6.
And I think you're right. We can see part of the one, but not good enough to make the one in the left.
It's like a deja vu for Wu here, for both players actually. Dennis not making a ball and Wu Ching facing almost nothing.
One corner.
I think it could go. It goes. He's called it. Go went easily.
Breaks up the 4. With no shot on the 2, so safety possibly here.
Yeah, I think the 5's in the way.
And that's what I meant earlier. I mean, he didn't, you know, it wasn't an open table at all to do something. So he has to play safety here. I don't think that the 8-ball is blocking. Otherwise, there's maybe a possibility of a combination 2-5. But 8 is in the way.
What's safe to play here?
That's a very good question. I don't really have an idea here.
Does he shoot the 2 on the...
Because if he hits it hard and tries to, keep the cue ball behind the 6, maybe the 2 goes 3 rails, but you really have to hammer it then.
And he wants to get that cue ball behind the 9. That's a really thin cut if it even goes at all.
It looks makeable, but I don't see a good chance for the cue ball coming back to the 3 ball for position here.
How about the corner? Bank shot.
Yep, that's what he just called.
10 seconds. Extension.
He's using up his extension.
Is there a scratch here?
I think he's going to play safety. I think he's changed his mind. That was probably smart to do so. Because, if he would have gone for the bank shots, may have missed it.
Blue ball corner.
Things can turn around real easy. I rather prefer good safety and try to force your opponents to an unforced or any error.
It's going to come out. Dennis needs angle on this 2 to get back for the 3. I think that's just about good enough.
Has to be careful not to run into the 10.
The thing is, he has to hit it a bit harder. That makes the cue ball leave the natural path a little bit.
Yep. He's human. But he put a lot of spin on that ball, didn't he?
He had to put a lot of spin because he knew that he's going to hit the 10 with that speed he had to play.
Well, he's human. What kind of table is left for? Ooh, an easy one.
Well, easy. It's not easy because the 8 ball still could be a problem. He probably has to go for a combination 8-10.
On the 5, 6 will be taken in the side pocket.
Hold the phone. There are still some chapters to be written in the book about this semifinal.
Three balls left.
This is a little too straight here. If he's straight in, then he's going to get some trouble getting a good position for the 8-10 combination.
Interesting how he's played this. He looks like he wants to take the 8 directly.
Wow.
And does he have anything on the 8? I think he wanted to leave the cue ball there.
Well, he actually had to because he had no angle on the 7.
Yeah.
That was the problem here. I think he rather would have loved to have a little angle on the 7 in order to get position for the 8-10 combo.
Still makeable though. The cue is going to run.
10 seconds.
No. I think he should have called for the extension there.
If you had more extension. You
Yeah.
finished up the extension already.
He had used it up already. Yeah.
Fourth unforced error for Wu, and Dennis is left with an elementary last 3 balls
I'm writing this
to get
on
to the
already.
final.
Possible Mika, Eminem, Dennis, Orcollo clashing in the finals. 2 balls. He's there. He is there, Bob.
10 ball corner.
That'll be it. Dennis Orcollo is in the final of the 2011 Predator International 10-ball championship. 10-5. He disposes of Wu Ching and he will do battle with Mika Immonen from Finland. We will be back to wrap things up here in Robinson's Galleria. Don't go away.